Good morning, this is Jeff with Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 17572 Southeast Paradise Drive here in Milwaukee. We're located inside the garage right up against the rear foundation wall, just adjacent to the water heater. We're going through a 3-inch cast iron clean out as our point of access. I'm going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. We currently have water running up ahead of the camera. Here we go. We do have a pretty significant amount of grease here in this portion of the line. You can see we're pushing all that junk around here. This clean out here is right where the kitchen sink ties into the sewer line. There is a ton of grease built up in it. My camera will probably remove some of it, so we'll see if it needs any cleaning at the end. Certainly would not be a bad idea though to do some type of drain cleaning to the kitchen sink drain itself. And it transitioned to ABS plastic there at some point. Looks like it's still 3-inch in diameter. We'll hopefully be able to see that transition on the way out. Not too much grease in the way. It transitions back over to cast iron pipe here, and this looks like it's belling out to 4-inch pipe. Yeah, we'll take a look at this spot on the way back out. We got a pretty large something going on here that's taking up about half the diameter of the pipe. Could be roots, could be some type of debris stuck there. We'll try and figure that out. Either way, I would highly recommend that be dealt with there, because, like I said, it's taking up about half the diameter of the pipe there. So if you have any, ball toilet paper go down the line, it could stick in that spot very, very easily. Transitions here over to 6-inch concrete pipe. Looks like we are going through some standing water there. We'll take a look at that on the way out. All right, located the camera head successfully out the main lateral on Southeast Paradise Drive. Looks like we are all drained out at this point. We're going to go ahead and reel the camera in. On the way out there, we'll always have a better look when it's all drained out like it is now. The one thing that was obvious there was that big obstruction in the cast iron pipe. Definitely need to take a look at that. Now we do have some standing water in the line here. We'll see how significant it is once we get back into it. Typically, I recommend repairs on bellows once there's at least 5 feet of pipe with at least an inch of standing water or greater. But right at that point is where I typically start to see regular old toilet paper collect in the line. So that spot we just went through there is rink-a-dink. There's not even a 1/4 inch of standing water in that spot. That's not something that's worth repairing at all. Alright, concrete pipe there's looking good. All that stuff dangling there appears to just be cobwebs. There's a lot of cobwebs and spider egg sacs. Nothing in that is looking like a root hair or strand or anything like that. Now, the nice part about this clean out here, I call them a pass-through clean out. It lets you go from the rearmost end of the line all the way through, so we have not missed any of the main line here. It doesn't look like it. We start at the very back of the line. So this spot right here is very difficult to tell what's going on. This could just simply be debris buildup in the line. It could be a lot of different things. There's so much grease and junk scale that's collected over the top of that at this point that it's hard to say what it is exactly. Sometimes you can get roots that poke through the line, and they slowly but surely catch a bunch of stuff, and they build up over the top of them. What I would recommend first and foremost here is trying to jet or auger that out of the line. I'd show the video to a drain cleaning guy and see which method is going to be best. I caution, to just be careful with doing jetting on old cast iron like this. Sometimes it can knock a lot of scale loose, and that can be an even bigger beast to get rid of. So you may want to start with the auger, but I would just show it to a drain clean guy. They can come up with the best method here for trying to remove that. Once it's removed, though, I recommend a rescope to see what the heck's going on here. There might be a hole in the pipe. There might be nothing there at all. It might just be debris that got stuck there somehow from a previous clog way back in the day. It's hard to say. But I do recommend that be removed and then rescope to check the pipe there. Make sure you don't have a hole in the line or something of that nature. I am going to put a marking on the ground here just for reference purposes in the event that it looks like there is a problem. At least it will be marked already. Okay, so I located this. I'm not going to actually put paint down because this is underneath the driveway. I don't want to put a bunch of paint that's going to stick around for a couple months and not know that there's a repair that needs to be done here. The paint lasts a lot longer on concrete, but just know that it is under the driveway. At the time that the rescope is done to recheck the pipe, at that point you can locate if there's any repair issues. The way that it looks, though, is it looks like it looks like a lot of grease buildup over the top of something. So what may have happened there is there may have been a clog at some point in the past, and the constant running water was able to open up the clog, in the flow line area, but it left stuff at the top. Even still, you've got dang near 50% of the diameter of the pipe being taken up by that. So if a ball of toilet paper comes down the line, and cast iron is rough to begin with. So if anything is large enough to kind of come in contact with that, it's going to stick there very, very easily. You can kind of see the difference here between the ABS plastic. All that grease and stuff is going down the same line here. Everything's flowing through, but you can see how clean the ABS is. It's almost spotless. There's not anything in it. But when you get into the cast iron, you get a whole bunch of, there's evidence of old grease buildup and stuff like that. So that's what I mean, is stuff tends to stick to cast iron because it's kind of rough and porous on the inside. It's one of those, you just want to be careful. It's the type of line you really, really want to avoid putting anything down other than toilet paper. You know, your plastic lines will handle, because of their smoothness, will handle things like paper towels and tampons relatively well, even though you should not put them down there at all. Cast iron, due to its roughness, will snag stuff up very easily. So just keep that in mind. Don't want to put anything down there other than folded toilet paper. And you can use the disposal. You just got to stop putting no more, you know, obviously the homeowner has put some grease down here. I just mean don't continue to do that. It's you can see how thick this gunk has got here in this particular spot. Luckily, all that routes through this particular section we're in right now is a kitchen sink drain. There's nothing else tying in here. So it's one that if it got clogged here is likely just going to back up the kitchen sink and nothing else. But I would recommend drain cleaning the line here. And if you run a jetter through, you can deal with that at that time right through this access point. So anyway, we're going to reel the camera out of the line. Recommend a Hydrojet or auger to clean the line out, especially that obstruction there at 56 feet. The rest of the line really, once you're past this first few feet of the access point here, it really is quite clean and doing its job. It's just one of those, you may end up en route drain clean, you know, some of this grease out of the line because you have to go through this spot anyway. The most important thing is to get that obstruction at 56 feet removed and then get the line re-scoped to make sure you don't have a, you know, split open joint there, a hole in the pipe, something like that going on. Apart from that, the rest of the line appears to be in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time. It will function, the whole line will function properly once that obstruction's been removed from the line.